Srinivas. So with Mr. Raghavendra S. So today we are conducting the experiments on universal testing machine. So as per your syllabus, the universal testing machine is used to conduct four kind of experiments. One is tensile test, compression test, shear test, and bending test. The same equipment is used for all the four. So first and foremost, we will take up the tensile test. So this is the respective this one. This is the graphical representation, and so this is the specimen that what we are going to use for tensile test. So the actual length of the tensile test specimen is 280 mm according to the ASTM standards. So out of that, so we need to hold it like this. The center distance, so we are going to take it as the gauge length. So please measure 100 mm from this side, 100 mm from this side, like this. So this will be 100 mm from here. So this will be 100 mm from here, right? Yeah, this is 100 mm. So this length is there, no? This is called as the gauge length. So please mark. So whatever the action is going to take, or whatever the phenomenon is going to take, so it's going to observe. So at the center of this one, so this is the, so this is holding length, this is also holding length, and this one we call it as gauge length. So this is holding length, this is also holding length. This is the universal testing machine. So this is the load indicator. So the capacity of the machine is 1000 kilonewton. So it has been graduated here. So here you have 4 buttons. So this is for operating the hydraulic supply, and this is for the up and down movement of the cross head. So this is for, this knob is used to open and close the oil supply, that is the hydraulic system, and this one is used for open and closing of the movement of the this is the load range. Load range is what we need to take. So here we have 3 cross heads: lower cross head, middle cross head, and upper cross head. So these two cross heads are movable, and this one is fixed. So in order to measure the deflection, we need to fix up the dial indicator like this on the surface of the lower cross head, like this, just to touch the surface of the lower cross head. So like this. So this is to measure the deflection. We are going to plot both stress strain curve. So stress we need to calculate, strain we need to calculate. So stress is constant for the application of every 10 kilonewton on the dial indicator. We need to take up the deflection reading in the dial indicator. So in the dial indicator, for every 10 kilonewton application of the load, we need to take the deflection. What is the deflection? And we need to take the graph. This is, okay. This is the top cross head, middle cross head. In between these 2 cross head, we are going to fix up the specimen like this. So we need to open like this. So like this. So here, so we have 2 cross rides, that is the holding visors die. So in that one, so we need to fix up this dimension. Sorry, this is specimen like this. In between this, yeah, like this, up to the 100 mm approximately, and then we need to close like this. And then so we need to lift up by using the indicator. That is a lifter, and then so here in this jaw we need to fix up like this. So this will be the length where exactly the material structure is going to change. Specimen, we need to take up the initial dimensions. The original length of the specimen, that is L, is equal to this one. So gauge length here we need to take, that is 80 mm. Final gauge length means after elongation we need to take up, that is L, small l. Then original diameter is we need to measure, and the final diameter means after breakage we need to take up, and the original cross sectional area we need to take, and final cross sectional area we need to take. Out of this we can find out what is the percentage of increasing in the length, what is the percentage of reduction in the area of this one. So this is the gauge end, and after applying the load for every 10 kilonewton, that is 0, 10, 20, 30, 40 like this. So we need to take up the dial gauge reading. First we need to take up the dial gauge reading like this, and then we need to convert it into mm by multiplying with the least count. Least count is 0.01 mm. So we need to multiply this reading with 0.01 mm, and this is the deflection that what we are going to notify. Depending upon this one, so we need to find out so what is the stress as well as what is the strain, and then by calculated stress as well as the strain, taking strain on the x-axis and stress on the y-axis, we need to plot the graph like this. Okay. We need to raise the middle cross head like this, that is moving up and down, and then sir is holding the device, specimen. Okay, so logging it. Yes. So like this, so just it should touch the surface of the lower cross head, and then we need to set it for 0. So now it is ready for taking the deflection. Yes.
Least count.
The least count of this dial indicator is 0.01. Whatever the deflection we get is to be multiplied with 0.01, that will give in mm.
Start.
Now you start the machine. So now we are giving the hydraulic load. For the application of every 10 kilonewton of load, by seeing it on the dial indicator, so just use it on the tablet. As so we have seen on this one. So we need to take up. So slowly we need to give the loading. So for every 10 kilonewton of load, we need to take the deflection in the dial indicator like this. So it's going to deflect. So now it is moved fast. So now load will apply on the specimen, and at some particular moment, one arrangement is going to take place. The coupled cone arrangement is going to take place at one particular moment. So it will get break, and we should be very careful. Broken specimen. This is the broken specimen. So we can see the cone arrangement as well as the cup arrangement like this. So now the area got reduced like this. So at this particular area, it is being broken. So we need to take the area. Like this. And what is the elongation in the length? That is increasing in the length also we need to take. So this will be
Delta L. Come on.
So this is the delta L. So this delta L we need to take up. So this is the rising, means increasing in the length. So then we can find out, so what is the percentage of increasing in the length and what is the percentage of decrease in the area of cross section at this failured portion. Okay, this is the tentative shape of the graph that what we are going to get. So after plotting the stress along the y-axis as well as the strain along the x-axis. So from year to year, so this is proportionality limit where the stresses are directly proportional to the strain. Then after that, even there is a decreasing in the load. So there is mere increasing in the load, so always increases the strain significantly, and so it is going to have a shape like this, and finally it is going to fracture at this particular point. So this particular maximum stress where it is going to attain is called as ultimate stress, which gives the characteristic of the specimen. So this is the upper yield point, so where the necking is going to start. This is the lower yield point, so where the necking is going to not stop, so it is going to decay. And after that, so it is going to have a maximum stress, and after that, so even though there is increasing in the length, so there is no question of increasing in the stress, so it is going to failure at this particular point. So by taking these values, so we can take out the calculations. So these are all the obtained readings. So for every 10 kilonewton of rise in the load, so we need to take the dial gauge reading, and then we need to multiply it with 0.01. So in order to have the values in terms of millimeter. So extensiometer is not working in our equipment, so don't worry about these two things. Then so delta L, so delta L1 plus delta L2 we need to take up, that is deflection plus, so the average rise in the, means increasing in the length we need to take. So stress we need to calculate by using load applied, that is 10 kilonewton, 20 kilonewton with respect to the area, where exactly the area is common. Then with respect to that, the strain also we need to take, that is L1 minus L2 we need to take up like this, and then plot the graph like this, Then the calculation part. So coming to the calculation part, so percentage of elongation we need to take, that is change in length divided by original length into 100, that is in terms of percentage. So reduction in the area, change in area divided by original area into 100, that is also in terms of percentage. Ultimate stress, that is ultimate load, so that what we are going to take up from the graph, and then original area, so this will give you like this. Then the failure stress, that is the failure load, where exactly the failure is going to take place divided by the original area, so that will also give you the failure stress. Then Young's modulus we need to take up from the stress, so you need to take up from the this one, that is the graphical representation. So this area we need to take, so this is the slope that what we are going to get from the proportionality limit. So at this proportionality limit, so we need to take up this length as well as this length. So by taking these two things, by calculating these two things, so we can find out what is the Young's modulus, that is the stress, variation in the stress divided by variation in the strain will give you the Young's modulus. This reading we need to take from the this is the only reading that what we need to take up from the graphical representation. So stress as well as the strain, the slope values we need to take in order to calculate the Young's modulus, and these are the results: percentage of elongation, percentage of reduction, ultimate stress, fracture stress, Young's modulus. This Young's modulus we need to take up from the graphical representation. The experiment that what we have conducted is only for mild steel. So this is the mild steel that what we are going to take up. So this is the mild steel. So the same kind of experiment can be repeated for even for non-ferrous materials like aluminum and all other things, but limited to your syllabus, it is only for mild steel. Thank you.